Join me, an out-of-shape, middle-aged introvert from the Midlands, as I step out of my comfort zone and venture into the outdoors. This short film captures my journey of self-discovery, embracing the positive changes that come with each step on the trail. Today I'm following a 7.5 kilometre trail around Tittesworth Reservoir, situated near Leek, Staffordshire. Today I am doing a loop around Tittesworth Reservoir, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, in Leek, Staffordshire. And I've only been here a few minutes and so far I'm blown away. The car park is relatively busy for a Sunday evening. There's like camper vans, people chilling out, having coffee and having a bite to eat, using the benches. It feels really good, and it's only about half an hour, 45 minutes away from me. I had no idea it was here. It looks immense, and what a great start already. I'm looking forward to doing this one. It is a relatively easy trail. It should be all paved along the way, relatively flat because it is going around the reservoir. So it'll be nice and chill today. Looking forward to it. This has been a really nice scenic route so far. I'm not very far into it. I kept stopping to take drone footage. I really am currently on a mission of some kind right now. I'm just feeling really energized to go out and explore places. Like just visiting places within a 20-mile radius of where I live. There are so many beautiful things to see out there in the wild, and I had no idea about it. It's like a veil's been lifted. I didn't realize what nature really had to offer in ways of like things like this reservoir, for example. I really do feel like I'm living and not existing in this moment. It feels so cool. So I ended up going on this walk today, which is a little bit down the road from where I'm planning to do a bigger loop soon. So I'm quite excited to come back here in the future and do the other bit of loop, although I think it's more to do with that mountainous area that I saw at the beginning when I got here. So I think it's a trail around that huge mountainous area. Well, I say mountain, hill, I'm exaggerating I guess. So I should really get cracking, as like I said, I'm only about a mile or so into my journey and I've got several more miles to go. So less chatting, more walking. It's been quite quiet so far. I've passed a couple of walkers, but it's been a little while since I've seen anybody. I think most of the action's happening up by the main picnic area on the other side of the reservoir, which is great. I wasn't expecting so many blasted flies. Man, this view, it's awesome. Like the water level being like that. I know it sounds stupid because it's a reservoir, but the water like that, and then you just turn around and then there's this huge dip down into like a valley-ish bit, I guess. That's so cool. Wow, 100% better views than just sitting at my desk. Yes, I know I can go on Google Maps and have a look around, and for the most part of my life I was satisfied with that. Not anymore. This is immense. I just had a lovely little chit chat with a middle-aged couple, just walking the dog. just giving me some tips on what's coming up next. And they've made the same distance, I think, as I have today, but they come here quite regularly. I don't know, just very warming to have those little chit chats. I don't normally like interacting with people, but it was a different level of conversation, I think. And I don't know, I really liked it, to be fair. I tried taking some drone footage of this like reservoir-y bit, and my drone took off and then it started going whoa. I landed it quickly. The tips on a couple of the blades have like worn out. I know how I did that. A few weeks ago when I was trying out my drone, because I hadn't tried it in a while, I turned it on in my lounge and it went whoosh, and then just started like attacking the ceiling. I was like, oh god, no! And I turned it off and I didn't think anything of it, but I guess enough damage was done that it's got to the point now where the tips just like have had it now. But oops. I'm about 3.5 kilometers away from the car park now. I love there's a bench here. It's got some quite nice words on it. However, I don't really give much to the view. I just had a real moment. The bench says, congratulations, you have walked half of the walk to water route. Keep up the good work. I thought to myself, but is that half if I'd gone clockwise or anti-clockwise? And it took me a minute and I was like, oh wait, it doesn't really matter, does it? Oh no, wait, it does matter, doesn't it? Because it depends where the starting point is. I don't know where the starting point is. I presume it's the car park, but I had a great idea. Window wipers for your forearms or your shins to keep the flies off them. You can have that one. Just give me a cut when you make millions, all right? Six kilometers down, 1.5 to go. Whoosh. This bench was made for me. Great message. Out of all the benches so far, this one's got the best view. I'm not one for ice cream really, but I could absolutely devour a McFlurry right now. God, that sounds amazing. I think the moral of that game is not to flush your pets, your dead pets, down the toilet. We did it. We got back to the car park. I know this because I can hear all the kids screaming over on the car park. Oh my god, I think it was a sign. As I was walking past the visitor centre, past the playground, an ice cream van pulled up. Dream come true. What have I got? A Knickerbocker Glory Galaxy ice cream, and I will devour this. Although I would say £9 is a bit steep, don't you think? Wow, saw me coming. Well, I thoroughly enjoyed my day today. It was quite a nice walk, to be fair. Parts of it towards the beginning, when I was going through the foresty bit, wasn't very exciting. There wasn't no really exciting views, but the rest of it really made up for it, for sure. It occurred to me afterwards with the drone going a bit kaput, was that the amount of times I've had it over a large body of water since I've been taking the drone out, I should count myself lucky that it didn't happen over the water. So when I get back, I'm going to have to buy a load of spare blades just in case, just to make sure that everything's in working order for next time. The car park closes in about 45 minutes, but there's a certain tranquility right now with everything being so quiet and empty and just a few bodies walking around. I'm in no rush to get on the road and go home. Even though the drive home shouldn't be too bad because it's Sunday night, there'll be no traffic, but I can't put into words how alive I'm feeling lately. It's kind of like making everything else in my life seem very black and white. One of my big focuses for getting healthy and doing all of this, making these changes, is obviously getting down vital statistics, such as my blood pressure, my cholesterol, my weight itself. Those are all big, important health things. But mentally, I think it'll help me as well. But this, by far, has been the most interesting and exciting. But what I will say is that I've been out for 3 hours now. I don't know. Let's just cut back 3 hours. I've only done 13,000 steps today, I think, or 13,000 steps on this trail. How are people supposed to do 10,000 steps a day? Who has the time to go out and do 10,000 steps a day? To be fair, for the longest time now, for the last few years, my goal on my Fitbit that I had before was only 6,000 steps because that seemed achievable. Just going out for an hour's walk or something, and then all the other steps included that I did throughout the day would equate to around about 6,000 steps. Don't really want to go home. It's funny. There are so many rabbits around. I know I said that before, but in my mirror now, I can see 4 of them hopping around. Are they rabbits or are they hares? I'm going to keep calling them rabbits. I think hares have got longer ears. And we are back. It's been a couple of weeks. Today does seem to be a little bit of a windy day, to be fair. But I'm looking forward to getting back on the trail. I'll go into more detail once things quieten down with the wind a little bit, and then we can talk properly. I believe at some point we're going to end up over there somewhere. I think we're going to end up going around and then up over this for a bit, and then back around to do an entire loop. I just had a lovely chat with a retired couple fixing up a fence in their on their property. I had to cut through this farmlandy bit, and I was like, oh, I'm not trespassing, am I? And they're like, no. And then we kind of got talking about retirement and making the most out of life. I think I was there chatting a lot longer than I thought I was, but there we go. So far the views have been wonderful. So I've actually filmed this out of order. The walk I'm doing today actually occurred after next week's video, but I kind of wanted to group these two locations together because it kind of makes sense. So I've kind of tagged this on the end of the original Tittesworth video. I just wanted to address that first in case some really weird things come up about me talking about something that has or hasn't happened yet in the next video. Today I'm rocking a new backpack that arrived yesterday, the Osprey Stratus, I think, 36 litre, which is a little large for going out on a 5-6 hour day trip, I would say. However, I am carrying camera gear, so I need that extra space. I would say if I wasn't carrying camera gear, I'd easily get away with 24 litre. I'm also carrying a lot more kind of what if gear. So I've kind of got a shell raincoat on me. I've got, whoa, it's getting windy now. I've got a hoodie. on a few of the bits and pieces. So I am kind of experimenting with like the kind of weights that I am able to take and able to get used to. I could keep rocking the 20 litre backpack, but at the end of the day I'm trying to like build up my stamina, so it can't hurt that much by bringing an extra bit of weight with me. Plus, you know, it's not like I'm carrying bricks. This stuff might actually come in handy. Very excited. It's fun to have a new hobby and start getting equipment for it if you can afford that kind of stuff. I've not gone crazy on items. I've kind of gone a bit more super budgety slash low mid-range, I think. I'm not quite sure, but looking at some of these prices, you can spend an absolute fortune on this stuff. I just ran into a lovely gentleman coming my way. I think his name was David from Peak and Northern Footpaths. Basically he goes around just like surveying trails and marking down issues such as like stars that are broken or overgrown paths, bits and pieces like that. It was good. I got to ask him a few questions, learned a bit. So it is probably obvious, but the people responsible for maintaining these trails are the people that own the land, and they don't necessarily get any grants for it. They use their own money. So I'm not sure if there's any sort of like enforcement that happens at all if there is a problem. I never actually thought to ask that question, but really nice guy. We had a good chat. Anyway, let's keep going. Wow, I would not want to fall in there. I was quite torn as to what to wear today because it's going to be around about 19 degrees, which is like, as far as I'm concerned, kind of like t-shirt weather. But I knew it was going to be windy as well. So climbing a big hill, I went with like a long sleeved base layer and a looser base layer to wear as a t-shirt. In the bag, as I mentioned before, I've got my hoodie just in case, but so far this is kind of working out for me. I may have been able to forgo the long sleeve top so far, but it's not causing me any real grief, and it'd be easy to take it off if I needed to, but this is what I went with. The aim of the game today is slow and steady. No power walking, no beelining, just gonna take it easy. Because I'm not far in and my leg's playing up, and I'm quite happy to keep stopping to chill out, but I will get to the top of this hill today. I am getting more and more excited. Some of these styles aren't exactly well maintained. Some of the ones that I've gotten over so far are really rotten or missing the platforms, so you have to properly scramble over them. Definitely slowing me down a little bit, taking it out of my flow, but at least there's not been many of them. I think the goal is to work my way to the base of the hill, head all the way to the far left, and then start climbing across the spine of those hills and rocky bits all the way from left to right. Those views should be pretty mint. I just want to take a moment to address these tracking poles that I bought with me, or trekking poles. I used them on the hill back there. I get why they're useful going up and downhill. I wouldn't necessarily use them on flats to go any faster, but just adding a bit more stability seemed to help, although it did start using my upper body, which wore me out in a different way, but I think it genuinely took less pressure off the bottom half. But I just wanted to point out that you've probably not seen them in a video so far, but yeah, I would recommend. I always feel really awkward working my way through working farms. Feels like I'm trespassing, and I guess technically I am, but oh well, it's more of that anxiety, I guess. Oh man, I am absolutely knackered. I've only done a couple of miles, I think. It's not the backpack. The backpack's actually held up really well, the way the weight's distributed, but I got really unfit this week, not going out and doing anything, and now I'm kind of paying the price, but I am going to keep pushing, and every time I look back behind me, the views get better and better. I did not expect to come out and see donkeys today. God, they're amazing. I know it's not, but in the very far distance, it looks like a spaceship or space rocket looking ready to take off. It is probably just like some tall building with an antenna on the top, but genuinely, the way it looks right now, I wouldn't be surprised if it like took off. It's definitely more popular around here in terms of tourism now that I'm close to the, well, now that I am at the base of this hilly thing. the road that I'm on at the minute, as you can see behind me. No traffic at all. There was like some parking further back, but this is like a very low traffic area in terms of cars. The wind has been absolutely relentless today. Just a few moments ago, my hat nearly went flying. I'm not even at the top yet, so I apologise. There's got to be a lot of wind noise in this footage. I'm about 2 hours into this journey now. My stomach's been rumbling these last 15 minutes. I only had a go-ahead bar before I left. I should have had something a little bit more substantial than that, but I didn't want it sitting heavy. But now I'm kind of regretting it, and I haven't brought that much food out with me either. So I'm going to find somewhere to sit soon, have a bit of water, have a bite to eat, recharge and crack back on. I'm like 45%ish of the way through this whole trail, so I'm going a little slow, as you can probably tell if you work it out, but I'm enjoying myself. I'm having a great time. After getting up that initial incline of those fields, which is a pain in the arse, everything's kind of been okay. Like, I have been on an incline now for a while, but it's not as bad as it was before, and so I'm not like feeling the strain really. I'm doing good, I'm having fun. I just spoke to another lovely gentleman coming up this hill, and he's just told me that over in the distance, kind of over there, is Mow Cop, which is where I was the other day, but is in the next video. So it's so cool to stand on a hill like this, look around and be like, oh my god, I've been there, or I want to go there, and then do it. It's such a fantastic feeling. Okay, this is so windy. The wind ripped my earbud out as I was over by this thing here. It drops on the floor, but I couldn't find it. But I just spent like 5-10 minutes looking for this thing. It blended in with like all the rocks and stuff. I was looking on the wrong side. The wind must have just like ripped it out and flew it away, but because it's been absolutely terrible. I was gonna get my drone out, but my drone would not stand a chance. I'm kind of talking fast right now because I know the wind's gonna start kicking up in a minute. And I guess this is the first time you've seen me without my cap on, but the cap will not stay on. But this has been fantastic. The walk up the top of the hill killed me. My watch was like, you're doing 170 beats per minute. And I'm like, oh my god, my heart's going to explode. But I went slowly and I made it and I got here. I've been enjoying the views. I would love to enjoy it a bit more, but like I said, the wind's kind of like ruining it a little bit for me. But The skies are clear, the views are fantastic. I was worried that it'd be a bit foggy today, but it hasn't been. And the rain's held off. I've probably got another couple of hours left before I get back to the car, but it should all be down here from here. I'm gonna relax a little bit and make my way down slowly. My nose has been running the way the wind's been whipping through, making me feeling like I've got a cold. I'm just like sniffle, 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 which is kind of a bit annoying. And sometimes I don't even notice. This is so cool, man. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you now. When I got up this morning, I knew I wanted to go. There was an urge inside of me, but I felt lethargic. I was like, do I really want to go out today? And then I was driving here and I was tired and the traffic was doing my head in. And then as I got closer, I started to see the views of Leek and I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. I'm getting into it a bit now. And then when I was walking up the hill, it was a bit of a struggle and I was questioning my life decisions again. And now that I'm at the top of the hill, I'm euphoric. I've talked about this before, but having the ability to push through sometimes, and you've got to push, to be rewarded with such great feelings and views, just totally makes it worth it. And it's the feeling that I hold on to when I'm, you know, doing these harder walks where I'm going through terrain I don't necessarily enjoy, or going up a hill which is straining on my chest. It's God, it's so cool. I know I'm gushing and I can't help it. I wish I could just like grab you here as a viewer, plonk you next to me and say, enjoy these views with me, because the footage certainly isn't capturing it. A hiking couple walked straight past me as I was filming that last clip, and I didn't hear them until they were literally passing me, and then I got all shy. But luckily I kind of like finished what I was saying. Yikes. Right then, it's this one next, up to the tippy top, over the hill, and then finding a way back to the car. The wind is crazy up here. I don't think I'm really going to get to appreciate the view or the accomplishment, but either way, I did it. Wow, so I've got a quarter of the way to go. This last half an hour has been so slow because I've had to like scramble down rocks as I'm going back down that hill. I've got a little bit of ways to go down a hill still, but I should be reaching roads and paths again soon, which should be nice. My feet are absolutely killing me because the ground has been so uneven. I've been getting like pressure as you put your foot down on different parts of my foot where there's like rocky bits pointing through. My back and my shoulders are aching. I don't know whether that's because of the backpack or because of the wind's just been ripping through me, it's kind of like made me cold and like irritable. Wearing the long sleeved base layer was spot on. I'm glad I went with that. If I'd gone purely short sleeved, I would have had a miserable time because it kind of got a bit cold a little bit. I couldn't have handled another layer because I would have sweat too much, believe it or not. I'm looking forward to getting home and having a bath or something, because this has been one of the most challenging walks I've done, including the ones that you'll see in my next video that I've already filmed, because I think the sheer hilliness of it all, I'm not really used to that, obviously, but I've enjoyed it and it's been really rewarding, and when I'm back at home with my feet up, I'll appreciate it even more. But I just wanted to take this time to check in because I'm in this foresty bit and the wind isn't so bad, so I can talk to you a little bit. Anyway, let's keep going. I've still not quite wrapped my head around the fact that I came back here from my last visit, saw those two peaks from the car park, said I'm going to do that, and then came back 2 weeks later and bloody did it. Still not wrapped my head around it. Hopefully it sinks in later, because I think that's quite a cool achievement, you know.